Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking what has to be one of the absolute most stunning leadership shakeups in recent tech history over at WhatsApp, right alongside Meta's massive $900 million bet on India's Cred. Seriously, guys, this is a massive story. We're talking big money, global platforms, and a really fascinating clash of business models. Let's get right into it. So, how exactly does a simple message asking for a little bit of advice snowball into a global CEO appointment? Well, it started when Meta's chief product officer, Chris Cox, was sending out these cold emails to entrepreneurs. He was basically just looking for ideas on the future of WhatsApp, what qualities its next leader should actually have. And one of those calls? It was with Kunal Shah. Well, Shah's answers were so incredibly insightful that by the end of their conversation, Cox basically flips the script and just asks if Shah himself wants the job. Wild, right? Section 1. The WhatsApp plot twist. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this corporate chess match, we have to look at the numbers. $900 million. That is the jaw-dropping size of Meta's massive minority investment into Cred. By pumping all this capital into the Indian fintech company, Meta is locking down roughly a 20% stake. This isn't just pocket change. It's a serious injection of capital that fundamentally ties the orbits of these two companies together. And honestly, it brilliantly illustrates the sheer value of what Kunal Shah has built over the years. With this new investment from Meta, Cred is now sitting at a post-money valuation of $4.5 billion. It totally proves that Shah hasn't just built some run-of-the-mill app. He has built a highly valued, incredibly powerful financial engine. Now, I want you to contrast that financial engine with a staggering global user base of over 3 billion people. Think about that. 3 billion. That's you, me, and literally nearly half the planet. That is WhatsApp's monthly user base, which Shah is now going to oversee. Will Cathcart, who grew the platform massively over the last 7 years, is actually stepping aside to focus on consumer AI products within Meta. And he's passing the baton of the world's absolute largest messaging app directly to Shah. Section 2. Another Indian tech boss. And that brings us to a really major cultural milestone here. I mean, we've obviously seen Indian origin leaders absolutely dominating at the top of Google and Microsoft, but Kunal Shah, he's a slightly different breed because he's coming directly out of India's domestic startup ecosystem. Notice the specific language Mark Zuckerberg uses here, specifically highlighting Shah's builder mentality. Meta didn't just want a traditional Silicon Valley manager. They specifically wanted another Indian at the helm, a homegrown entrepreneur who deeply knows how to build products from the ground up that really resonate with vast, complex populations. Because, make no mistake, India is WhatsApp's ultimate laboratory. It's our largest market by far, with well over 500 million active users. And it's not just an app over there. It is literally the plumbing of daily life. Families quarrel, small businesses sell their goods, entire communities organize on it. Cracking the code for payments and commerce in that kind of environment, it requires a leader who has a profound, almost native grasp of exactly how Indians think about money and digital trust. Section 3, Meta's $900 million bet. So let's talk about the guy Meta is essentially hiring here. Shah's journey is super unconventional. He actually went from being a philosophy grad and an MBA dropout, right, to building FreeCharge, securing a massive exit, then building Cred, and now he's stepping into the role of WhatsApp Global CEO. He is the very definition of a serial entrepreneur. It just goes to show that raw curiosity and hands-on practical experience can absolutely outweigh traditional credentials. And beyond just building his own incredible companies, Shah has been an insanely active angel investor. We're talking over 250 startups. Honestly, when does the guy even sleep? But really, this vast portfolio has totally cemented his reputation as an absolute master of consumer behavior and behavioral engineering. He just gets it. He understands exactly what makes people click, what makes them buy, and what makes them trust a platform in the digital age. Section 4. The Cred Playbook. Now, what's really fascinating here is that the models of these two companies couldn't possibly be more different. Shah built Cred as a highly exclusive club. You literally need a high credit score just to get past the velvet rope, so to speak. But now he has to manage a mass market platform whose entire value relies on total, absolute ubiquity. He is literally moving from running the ultra-exclusive VIP lounge to managing the entire public square. It's a huge shift. As Shah makes this massive transition, Minton Sampat is stepping in as interim CEO of Cred. And he inherits a platform that is actually profitable right now, boasting 17 million active members. Crucially, though, Cred processes a massive 40% of India's credit card bill payments. So while Meta claims they have no direct access to member data today, we have to recognize that this deal undeniably pulls Meta right up close to India's richest, most lucrative data set on financial behavior.
Section 5. Skeptics and Data Privacy.
Of course, a deal this huge is not without its critics. The Global Trade Research Initiative has raised some pretty major red flags here. They're pointing out this larger trend where U.S. tech giants, like Walmart, Google, and now Meta, are gaining a lot of dominance over India's digital payments and fintech sector. And despite Meta's promise of zero data access today, the GTRI is warning that this incredibly rich financial data might eventually be accessed down the line to train Meta's AI models. It's a very real concern being discussed. Meanwhile, if you look at forums like Reddit, the grassroots startup community is offering a bit of a reality check too. They rightly point out the immense privilege of having a billion-dollar runway over 8 years just to figure out a business model. That's a safety net everyday founders just simply do not have. Plus, with Meta's somewhat notorious hire-and-fire culture and their history of clashing with acquired founders, well, everyone's kind of wondering, how long will Shaw's fiercely independent builder mentality actually survive inside the massive Meta machine?
Section 6. Monetizing the Green App.
This all brings us to the core issue. Meta has struggled for years to make real, substantial money off of WhatsApp, especially over in India. They have the users, right? The engagement is off the charts, but extracting durable revenue from that engagement is notoriously difficult. They are betting $900 million that Kunal Shah is literally the only person out there who can engineer this behavioral shift at scale. He needs to turn a free messaging app into a commercial powerhouse, all without driving the users away. Which leaves us with the ultimate question for this explainer. Can the master of the gated community seamlessly introduce commerce to the massive public square? Will your daily, everyday chat app start feeling like a digital mall? The entire tech world is watching right now to see if another Indian tech boss can pull off the absolute impossible. Thanks so much for joining me as we unpacked this wild story.